They fined me $3,750 for visual disruption because of 2 hand-carved wooden owls on my lawn, owls that perfectly matched the HOA's own design handbook. I moved into Brookside Estates for peace. My little craftsman house had a wraparound porch, a big maple tree, and a lawn I kept pristine. I wasn't flashy. I just liked small, personal touches, like the pair of carved owls my late father made. They stood at the garden's edge, weathered but dignified. The first red flag came in a crisp envelope marked "Compliance Notice." The letter claimed my owls clashed with community aesthetic. No citation of a specific bylaw, just a vague visual disruption note. I laughed it off, until a second notice came, this time with a $250 fine and a warning that continued violations will escalate. I called the HOA office. Which rule exactly am I breaking? I asked. The manager's voice was syrupy and cold. Aesthetic cohesion is at the board's discretion. That's not in the guidelines. Her tone sharpened. We'll see how long that argument lasts. Days later, I heard whispers at the coffee shop. My neighbor Carol leaned in. They said you're trying to turn the neighborhood into a carnival. What? She shrugged, eyes darting. Board's been talking about you. Private meeting last week. Knowledge nugget number 1, HOAs can't legally enforce unwritten rules. Every restriction must be in recorded governing documents. The smear campaign spread fast. Someone posted a blurry photo of my owls on the community Facebook page with the caption, "Is this what we want for Brookside?" Comments piled on. A few defended me, but the tide was turning ugly. I started digging through HOA meeting minutes online. That's when I noticed something strange, one name popping up over and over in approval votes, even for unrelated issues: Peter Harlan, the landscaping committee chair. I didn't know him well, except that his front lawn looked like a botanical catalog and he had a fondness for rules. Then I found it, buried in the last annual budget report. The HOA had approved a $22,000 landscape enhancement initiative, with Harlan as project lead. No breakdown. No contractor listed. And guess which month the first visual disruption complaint against me was filed? The same month that fund was approved. The puzzle clicked together. If he could enforce stricter aesthetic controls, homeowners would have to hire board-approved landscapers, his landscapers. It got darker. 2 weeks later, I received a letter from the city zoning department, citing me for unpermitted decorative structures. Decorative structures? The owls were barely 2 feet tall. When I called, the inspector admitted, off record, that the complaint came from my HOA. Knowledge nugget number 2, while HOAs can file complaints with local authorities, they can't override city codes. If you meet municipal requirements, the HOA's stricter standard may be unenforceable in court. That's when I decided to fight. Screenshot this clause and tag a friend who needs HOA armor. Section 5.3 of our bylaws, decorative fixtures under 36 inches in height are exempt from review. Mine were 24. I started a quiet counterstrike. I filed a formal records request for all landscaping contracts over the past 3 years. I contacted 3 other homeowners who'd been fined for visual disruption. Every case was tied to installations that could have been done cheaper without Harlan's approved vendors. We pooled our evidence and hired an attorney specializing in HOA fraud. Her advice was sharp: this isn't just aesthetic bullying, it's self-dealing. That's a felony in some states. The fight ramped up. Our lawyer sent a cease and desist to the board. The HOA tried to stonewall, until one of our allies, a former treasurer, handed over an old laptop the board had retired. On it? Emails from Harlan instructing the manager to target certain homeowners whose decor undermines vendor consistency. He even attached photos he'd taken from the street, zoomed in, like surveillance. We went public. At the next board meeting, the room was packed. Cameras from the local news station lined the back wall. When Harlan walked in, he froze at the sight of the TV crew. I stepped to the mic. These owls were carved by my father. They are within every rule you've published. You targeted me, and others, for personal gain. And we have the receipts. The board tried to adjourn, but the attorney handed the president a folder. You'll want to review these before you dismiss the meeting. They include correspondence with the county prosecutor. Harlan's face drained of color. The room erupted in shouts. Knowledge nugget number 3. In most states, HOA board members have a fiduciary duty. Profiting from board decisions without disclosure can trigger criminal charges. Within a month, Harlan resigned. The county opened a fraud investigation. The Landscape Enhancement Fund was frozen, and the board voted to drop all outstanding visual disruption fines. The owls stayed. A few weeks later, I found a plain envelope in my mailbox. Inside was a single Polaroid of my house, taken at night. No note. Just the image, grainy and off-center, as if snapped from a moving car. Next week, the city that tried to steal a solar farm